All right, this is the Algebra 1, Unit 5, Lesson 3 video over point slope formula. The point slope formula is a formula that we use to get from the information of having a slope, the slope value in one of the points on the line, and getting from there to the y equals mx plus b line. So if you remember, um, we were up to this point we've been working with the y equals mx plus b line, and that's kind of the main form of the line, the slope intercept form that we like to work with. So we're going to get from having a slope and a point, and we're going to get to having the slope intercept form. And so this formula here is what we're going to use to do that. And so I'm just going to do a few examples of how we do that. So when you're given a slope and a point, to use this formula, you're gonna come down here and you are gonna plug in for the following values. You're gonna plug in for the y1, for the m, and for the x1. And you're not gonna do anything with the x and the y because those are the x and y that you're gonna get in this final version of the equation. So obviously this is gonna be x1, y1, and the slope is our m. So let's go ahead and plug everything in from the example that we have here. So we're gonna have y minus 2, because 2 is the y1, equals 3, which is the slope, parentheses x minus 3. And then all I have to do is continue to simplify this until it looks like the slope intercept form. All right, so to do that, I'm going to distribute this 3. Y minus 2 equals 3x minus 9, because 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 3 is 9. And then lastly, I'm going to add 2 to both sides of the equation. That cancels out, giving me y equals, which is how I want it to look, 3x minus 7. And so we found our slope intercept form. And that's pretty much it. That's how you use the point slope form to get your slope intercept form of the line. So let's do another example. So remember, our slope intercept form is, or point slope form is the following. So we're going to do y minus 4, which is I messed that up. Y minus negative 3, we'll deal with that in a second. That's my y1. This is our m, equals negative 2x minus 4. So we simplify in our next step. This is going to simplify to become y plus 3 equals negative 2x plus 8. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. And I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. And we're going to get y equals negative 2x. I did not mean to put a line through that. Y equals negative 2x plus 5. So you can see that's really a lot of what you're doing here at the beginning. They're going to give you the slope and a point. That's what they do for number 2, number 3, number 4, 1 through 5 is going to be point slope. So let me do one more example with a fraction so you can see how that works out. So we're going to get, again, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right, so let's plug everything in. We have y minus 3, because that's our y1. This is our x1. This is our m, equals 3 fourths. 3 fourths times x minus 8. You can see this is going to work out a little bit differently because we have this fraction. So that's going to distribute, giving me y minus 3 equals 3 fourths x. You can just leave it like that because that's going to be our slope term. And then we're going to do minus whatever 3 fourths times 8 is. So let's go ahead and just do a quick calculator thing on that. So 3 fourths times 8 is 6. That worked out nice. So again, that's 3/4 times 8 gives me 6. And then we're going to continue by adding 3 to both sides. And then we finally get y equals 3/4 x minus 3. All right. Now, then we get some questions where we're just given points. It's going to be number 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So here, you're going to have an additional step at the beginning of the problem. In order to solve for point slope form, we know that we need the slope and we need a point. Well, we only have points, so we need to actually find the slope. So we're going to do that first. And I'll just remind you the slope formula is the following. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're going to do that first. So y2 x, sorry, get rid of that. y2, x2, y1, x1. Okay, so y2 is 5 minus 3. x2 is 0 minus negative 6. 5 minus 3 is 2. 0 minus negative 6 is positive 6. So I'll erase that. And so the slope is, let's make some space there, 1/3. So let's just say here, m is equal to 1/3. So that's going to be 1/3. And then we're going to plug everything else in. It doesn't matter which ones we choose. We'll choose this first point up here. X minus negative 6 is going to go in here. And then we're going to continue to simplify this problem. So this is going to be y minus 3 equals, and then we'll need to go ahead and simplify this. Let's go ahead and take an extra step here. X plus 6 is going to go inside there. Then we're going to distribute y minus 3 equals 1/3 x plus 2, because 1/3 times 6 is 2. Then we're going to add 3 to both sides. And we get y equals 1/3 x plus 5. All right, let's do one more example of this. So again, I get 2 points. So I'm going to take those points and I am going to go find the slope. The slope formula again is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. We're going to say this is x1, y1, x2, y2. Then I'm going to come over and plug those numbers in. So y2 is negative 2 minus 6 is y1. x2 is 2 minus negative 4. So, and looking at that, negative 2 minus 6 is negative 8. 2 minus negative 4, 2 plus 4 is 6. That's going to be negative 4 over 3. So that's going to be my slope. Okay. So then I'm going to come over. I'm going to take that value there. That's going to be my m. And I'm going to use this point here. It doesn't really matter which one you use. So we're going to do y minus 6 equals negative 4/3 x minus negative 4. Then we're going to distribute this value to both of these. Actually, we'll actually fix that second equation so that it is looks a little nicer. Y minus 6 equals negative 4/3 x plus 4. Now it's easier to work with. So we'll distribute this. Y minus 6 equals negative 4/3 x. That just stays like that. Minus, and then this is going to be negative 4/3 times 4. Now it's not going to reduce, but when I do multiply it, I end up with negative 16 over 3. Now, this one is a little bit weird compared to some of the other problems we've done, but we're still going to add this 6 to both sides, and then we're going to see what we get. We're going to get y equals negative 4/3 x, and then we're going to do negative 16 over 3 plus 6. Let's go see what we get over here when we do that. Negative 16 divided by 3. Oops. Let's go back here. Negative 16 divided by 3 plus 6. We get a fraction number there. We're going to look at it. It's 2/3. And that is the final response. So that's a good example of one where you end up with a fraction. Don't let that intimidate you. You're going to see the same kind of stuff happen over here. Sorry about this. I got logged out there. Let's see if I can get logged back in. All right, there we go. So that gets us to number 10. Starting at number 11, you're just matching up the graph with the equations. Remember, this is the slope and this is the y-intercept. So just see, does the information in the graph match those two values? First of all, look at this and tell me, is this a line with a positive slope or a negative slope? Right away, I can eliminate this as an answer choice because it shows a negative slope. This doesn't have a negative slope, it has a positive slope. After that, it's a matter of looking at the rise over the run and seeing which one of these answer choices matches that. It's going to be the same basic idea for number 12. Match it up with the correct equation. And then number 13 is the same type of problem as numbers 6 through 10. This would be a set of points. This would be a set of points. So use this as x1, y1, and x2, y2. So like I would do -1, -7, and 2, 11 as my points, and then do the same process that we just did right over here. Okay? And then lastly, this is just taking this information here and saying, what is the slope and what is the y-intercept out of those two numbers? Just in a sort of conceptual sense. I think you'll be able to figure that one out. And then here again, which equation? Same idea. You should know enough there to be able to do that, especially with a line that's vertical like that. And that's it for lesson 3.